Louisiana.
I mean, look, I think this is a bigger question. This is a bigger problem for collegiate sports nationally and in Louisiana. I just sent out a letter to each one of our college boards telling them that those college boards should put in place a policy that respects the national anthem. The national anthem is as much a part of American sports as is the actual game that's being played. And the fact that there is not a policy that says, listen, these players are going to be out there and respect the flag and respect those that go out there and protect us is really disrespectful in and of itself.
This is the governor of the state, Jeff Landry.
Look, if you hate cops just because they're cops, the next time you get in trouble, call a crackhead. I'm John Kennedy, and I approve this message.
This is Senator John Kennedy, who has done a mean switch up in an effort to relate.
John Kennedy. He used to be a Democrat that talked like this.
Well, we have another program here at Treasury that we're very proud of.
But then he became a Republican, switched accents, and now he talks like this.
I will not let you down. I'd rather drink weed killer.
Oh, and by the way, now he's good buddies with this guy. John Kennedy inspires people like this and has now raised $15 million to keep ruining Louisiana.
My wife says that roads and bridges are a woman's problem, if you will, because oftentimes it is the woman, aside from commuting to work, who's also taking children to school or doing the shopping. And the more time she spends on that road, the less time she spends doing things of higher value.
And this is the other senator representing Louisiana, Bill Cassidy.
I know that Louisiana ranks very low or I should say very high on maternal deaths amongst the states. So what do you think needs to be done there to improve that, especially if forms of abortion or birth control could be limited in the future?
About a third of our population is African American. African Americans have a higher incidence of maternal mortality. So if you correct our population for race, we're not as much of an outlier as it would otherwise appear. Now, I say that not to minimize the issue, but to focus the issue as to where it would be. For whatever reason, people of color have a higher incidence of maternal mortality.
Yep. This guy, not sending their best. And with that, we turn to football. The LSU Tigers are under a bit of controversy for a decision made by the former Attorney General and current Governor, Jeff Landry. So prior to LSU's home game against Alabama, where they got throttled, I think the final score was 42-13, there was this. And it's a photo where some posed with a tiger, a stand-in tiger. And Landry defended this decision of having a live tiger at their football stadium, the first of its kind since 2016. Now, here is where the story takes a very big turn. Let's go over it. LSU essentially said no. Mike the Tiger, not available, not allowed to be on the sidelines. So the governor would lease a tiger named Omar Bradley through a man in Florida named Mitchell Kalmanson. Now, Kalmanson, if you have watched our content previously, you probably know where this is going. Kalmanson is not a person that you would like to be in business with. And I'm going to explain why to you. As written by WDSU, an NBC affiliate in the state of Louisiana, Kalmanson has tons of abuse violations, plus a 20-year history of citations by the Department of Agriculture. WBRZ also wrote, the USDA cited him time and time again for mistreatment and the handling of exotic animals. At one point, and this is just one example of many, one of his tigers got on the loose. Yes, the Florida man's tiger got on the loose and attacked an elephant. Now, how I see it, Landry did this for one of two reasons. Number one, he thought it would be cool because he wants to bring back tradition. But the second was, Mike the Tiger cannot be brought to games because the school could risk losing its status with the USDA. So there's that. So what he wanted to do was have a show. And he is getting it now in the form of immense criticism. There was speculation that government funding was used in order for Omar Bradley to make its way from Florida to Tiger Stadium. And here's the thing. Kalmanson would deny that this took place, but But when media outlets said, okay, well, why don't you show us the receipts so we can take your word for it? He's like, nope, I'm not doing that. I refuse to show you proof. Okay, well, interesting. So after the more than 10-hour trip, Omar was revealed to the crowd at LSU's home stadium. Here's a snippet. Meanwhile, the editorial board at LSU Revel wrote a strong rebuke of Landry and his actions. Academic journals suggest that loud earthquake-like atmospheres like Tiger Stadium hold negative ramifications on a tiger's immune system, furthering their ability to contract diseases. As we have seen, Republicans are certainly not pro-life, and they are certainly not pro-science, so I don't see why either of these things would be disqualifying. They'd add, his campaign for a tiger on the field is simply out of touch with the interests of LSU's community. It reeks of his wanting to appeal to the wide-reaching demographic of LSU fans despite never having attended the university. Damn. It's also pretty interesting to know that this man is such a staunch supporter of the LSU Tigers and yet didn't even go there. She doesn't even go here. He would then go on to say this, continuing to defend his decision. I'm going to tell you something. This is about tradition, and the thing about tradition is about respecting those who came before you. Like the previous 5 Mike the Tigers? This is the problem with Republicans, is that they do not follow studies, they do not follow the science, they do not follow the trends. This is something that LSU stopped doing for good reason. And Landry's like, good old days, we gotta go. No, you don't. You don't have to. PETA, of course, would also chime in. Louisiana state law prohibits big cats, including tigers, from being imported into the state without a specific exemption, which Calvinson apparently does not have and is not eligible for. Uh-oh. PETA Foundation Associate Director of Captive Wildfire Research, Clayton Rutherford, also released a statement. I will read that to you. Trucking a stressed tiger across state lines and cramming him into a clear box in a raucous football stadium is not only cruel and dangerous, it's also apparently illegal in Louisiana, so it's no surprise that only a scofflaw showman like Mitchell Calvinson would do it. PETA has filed an urgent complaint with the Louisiana Department of Wildlife and Fisheries, asking it to pursue all available remedies against Calvinson for this cheap stunt, and urges LSU to ignore the bizarre and unlawful mandate from Louisiana's attention-seeking governor and reject the idea of bringing tormented wild animals to games. That's a very strong statement. And I guess I just leave you with this. I am completely dumbfounded how people buy this crap. How people will say, no, I agree with it. It's a good idea. We need to be more well-informed. We need to think outside of what I would say are our own comfort zones and our normalities, and really consider something that is being lost. And I will end with this one word: empathy. If you can and are willing, please become a paid member here at TYT Sports, and or go to tyt.com/join. In addition, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate it. Have a great day.